Yeah, so honestly, I don't really know what to talk about. I just kind of have to start ranting a little bit, get my um get my thoughts out because I really think that the future, or at least my generation's future, is in a lot of trouble. I think we're screwed. And I don't say that lightly, and I'm not saying it as like a joke, even though it kind of is a joke. But my generation is kind of screwed completely. Screwed in almost every aspect of everything, and I don't know if like there's much hope left. You know, I guess I just start with my life and kind of how I perceive it and how I've seen it play out. Um, I think that the older generations kind of have tried to guide us in the way that their life went, and that's fine. It worked for them. I don't think my generation really sees their life as an appealing thing. Um, I'll say more specifically in terms of like career, relationships. You know, what worked for them might not necessarily work for us. I guess starting off with college and school, like I think college and school, nothing wrong with it. In a lot of cases, but in many, let's just say many, maybe I might I might even go as far as to say most cases, college isn't for everyone, and that's kind of how it was back when they went to college. Nobody, I can't say nobody, but not all people went to college. But now we're in a situation where pretty much everyone goes to college, and you're almost looked down upon for not going, and you don't have it like, oh, you're not going to college. What are you doing with your life? Oh, like I don't think that that's how it should be. Like I think that we've kind of pushed people into going, and now we're kind of paying the price for it since everyone has a degree. Nobody has a degree. Doesn't really matter how educated you are, because most people coming out of college aren't working in the field that they studied in, or they're working a job that doesn't even require a degree, in my opinion. Uh, all the jobs that I've held out of college, they say they require a degree, but I didn't use any of the things I learned at school there. Um, I work in HR, my past two jobs, like, anyone could do that. I feel that. I don't know if everyone else thinks that, but I think just like having a general knowledge and a general ability to learn gives you that ability to work that type of job. I don't want to rant about this or in particular, but like my grandpa in particular, I talk to him about this all the time. How finding a job is not the same as it used to be, and it's kind of more about who you know now, and because everyone has a degree, like I said, so you have to have something that separates you. So knowing someone in the field that you're going into is almost like mandatory to get a job now in it. Compared to when he graduated school, he told me he had 3 job offers coming out of school. That doesn't happen anymore unless you already worked like 2 internships at a company before you graduated. Like that's how you get a job at a good company now coming out of school. Maybe it's different for people who go to like prestigious schools. I don't know. I didn't go to one, so I wouldn't know anything about that. But I don't know if you've talked to most college grads these days, but like not everyone seems that smart. Everyone kind of like, not to be insulting, but literally like it seems like anyone can get through school now. Like I thought that would change in high school. Like okay, yeah, we should encourage everyone to go get through high school because it's just good to have a high school or high school. I don't know, call it degree. What is it? High school certification. Yeah, like sure, we should push people to get through high school at least. Like get a GED. Cool, awesome. But college isn't for everyone, and we shouldn't be pushing it on everyone. Like I know of many people at college that graduated with the same degree as I did. I'm not saying I'm exceptionally smart or anything, but these people definitely weren't. And I don't know how they passed classes. I saw the work they did, and I'm like, how are they getting passing grades on these things? Like you work with some people, like I'm sure everyone has the experience. You work with people in group projects, and you're like, this person's gonna pass, and they're probably gonna pass with maybe one grade level lower than mine, but their degree isn't gonna say that. Nobody cares about your grades after you graduate, pretty much, like almost no one, unless you're going to grad school. So then, like, what's the point of me getting a degree if this guy over here has it? And I think that's a lot of the reason why companies are switching over to hiring in a lot of contract jobs, so that because they're smart enough to know that anyone can graduate college nowadays. So like they're basically putting you on a test run for what, a 6-month contract, and they can just fire you at any time, no repercussion to them. So I think they're smart for doing it that way. They're screwing over the workers, for sure. Yeah, they are, but it makes sense for them to do it. I don't blame them for doing it, because they probably get a lot of idiots that walk in the door that don't do any work. And that's one of the flaws of my generation. We are lazy. We are very lazy at work. We don't work that hard, do we? Like, look at yourself in the mirror at work. How many of those 8 hours did you actually do something? How many of those 8 hours, were actually productive? Like, I don't know about you, but when I went into work, I kind of, like, I didn't always want to work a full 8 hours really hard all the time, because, you're just not that motivated to all the time. But also, at most of the jobs I've held, at least, there's not 8 hours of work to do, but they still want me there for 8 hours, and no matter how much of it I get done, I'm still going to get paid the same amount. So that kind of cuts down on my motivation personally. I don't know about you, but I like to actually like feel like I'm getting something done and working towards something, not just killing time. Like I literally, me and my coworker, we just like watch YouTube videos all day, waiting for something to do, because we already had all the work done. Like, what do you want us to do? I don't know, like that type of thing. I think the jobs that we have feel like unfulfilling. There's nothing to them. Like, I don't even need my job to mean anything. I just want to feel like I'm doing something at work. Like, I want to feel like when I go to work and I walk in that door, I have something to do, and what I do doesn't matter, but at least I'm doing something. Like, I could be sorting I don't know, sorting files. It doesn't matter. Just give me something. And sure, it might be nice to have a chill job that you don't do much at for like 6 months, but after that 6 months is over, you're going to get pretty bored and depressed, because you're not going to feel like you're accomplishing anything, and you're going to really want to pursue something real. I'm on like such a tangent right now, and I realize that, but I feel like this is something important to talk about too, because my generation definitely has this thing of like, oh yeah, I pride myself on not getting anything done or not working hard. And yeah, like I said, that's totally cool for like a little while, but you get really bored of that really fast. And I think you need to reflect on that, and maybe think like, maybe the reason why you're bored and depressed is because you don't have a meaningful job. Maybe you should strive to get something, something big done at work. Some like work on a project that's actually meaningful to you. It doesn't even have to be at work. It could be a personal project. Who cares? But just do something. Like, I don't know, anything that makes you feel happy. And that can be hard to find. Trust me, I know. Trust me, I know. But like, going back to like how you don't need a degree. Just like, I would have been more than happy. I felt pressured into going to school after high school. I would have been more than happy to go to a trade school and working in some kind of manual labor, like as a carpenter or as a metal worker. I would have loved it. I was perfect for it. Like, I love working with my hands. I like physical labor. I don't like sitting at a desk and looking at a computer screen all day. It's just not my thing. I don't like it. But it's what I got pushed into doing after school. It was like, ooh, oh, like everyone at my high school would be like, ooh, that person's not going to college after school. What are they even doing with their life? Oh, wow. Like, you're looked down upon for not going, but like, why? Why? Oh, and by the way, all those people that are making fun of these kids for not going to college, a lot of them dropped out. A lot of them didn't even finish school. all they thought about was going to school. They didn't think about what it would be like to actually be there and accomplish it and finish it. I don't know how most people felt about college, but I was told all throughout high school, it's like, oh, don't worry. Yeah, high school might be a little easy, but you better get ready. You better learn how to study, because when you go to real school, like college, you're actually gonna have to try hard, and for every 3 hours you're in class, you better be studying for 9. Well, guess what? I didn't study for a single test ever throughout my entire college. This might be different for STEM fields. Don't get me wrong. I studied business, like general business, so maybe I have a different perspective. I wholeheartedly believe that the nursing students and other STEM fields, all that, they study hard. Trust me. I had engineering friends, and I took some anatomy classes, all that stuff. Those were the hard classes, but the general business classes and liberal arts degrees and all of these other fields of study, I do feel like they're not academically rigorous enough at all. I never felt challenged once in school. Like, out of all the classes that I took, I probably could have skipped 85-90% of them, and I probably would have came out with the same amount of knowledge as I did now. It might hurt to say, but it's the truth, and I honestly don't remember most of the crap I learned. Like I said, I never studied for anything. The only time I ever actually tried on anything was projects, because I actually felt like, there was a standard that I needed to meet. But when it came to tests, like, I don't know how most people are, but I definitely I just went to class. That's it. I just went to class and I paid attention. I never took any notes. Never looked at, because I did my freshman year, but I never looked at my notes, so why bother? So I never took any notes. I never did anything. I just did my homework, and I did my projects, and I went to class. That's all I did, and I passed with good grades, like, decent enough GPA, whatever. I did what I had to do to pass, and like I said, didn't study nothing, and I started to, like, feel like anyone could get through college. And I did not want that to be the case for college. I wanted college to be difficult, but it wasn't. Like, obviously it wasn't. It was too easy, in my opinion. Not academically rigorous whatsoever. Again, I wasn't a STEM field. I don't know if that's harder, but this is why I have, like, this huge hatred for colleges right now, because I feel like they're lying to people about how they are. Like, they're trying to keep this prestige about them to make them sound difficult, and, oh, you better go to college so that you can get a good job. I think it's all crap. I really don't. I think it's all a facade. None of it makes any sense to me, because I feel like it's not true. Like I said earlier, most people that go to college don't get a job right after school. Well, I don't know what the statistics are. I think I heard someone say it's like 40% of people coming out of school aren't getting a job in the field they study, or at a job that requires a degree. Don't quote me on that. I'm pretty sure that's what the statistic was. But I think that's ridiculous that that's even a thing. Like, these jobs are requiring a degree that clearly don't require a degree to do. It's stupid to me. We have all of these jobs that apparently need a college degree and need to be filled because they're so important, but you work at them and you're like, we don't do anything here. I literally just fill a space. I don't like it. I don't like being here. I don't like the way it makes me feel to be here. I want to work on something that actually matters. But that doesn't happen, does it? No, it doesn't. Like I said, the older generation, this is just one part that the older generation tells us that we need to do to get a good job, to make money, blah blah blah. It's just something. And now that I graduated college, they're trying to tell me that, oh yeah, that whole college thing that we said that you needed to do to get a good job, that we were just kidding. You actually need to get a master's degree. And if you don't get a master's degree, then you won't get a good job. So we lied to you. We took four of your good years, 18 to 22, we took those years from you, but, darn it, we need to take another 2 for you to get your master's, because that wasn't enough. That clearly didn't do it. And I'm not saying college wasn't a good experience. I had met a lot of my best friends at college, all that stuff, but still, you see what I'm saying? Like, it was a very, very time-consuming and resource-consuming thing to do, to go to college. to spend all that time there when I could have been doing something else. And I feel like I actually like regressed in my mindset while I was at college, because before college I was like super entrepreneurial, and I guess I'm coming back to it now, but like I was like all about starting my own business. It's like, oh yeah, I had my own little like lawn care business, like every weird high schooler did. Like, oh yeah, I just did all my own private contracting work. I made more money. Let me be honest, I made more money before I went to college than when I was there, and I definitely had more potential to. But it's just it's weird that they tell us to do all of these things, and they kind of strip you away and like bash on your ideas and stuff like that until you kind of just regress into following the norm. And then you get mad when you see other people, breaking that mold. And it's like, oh, this guy didn't go to college. Look how much money he's making because he started his own business. And kind of, at least that's how it makes me feel. I'm like, yeah, maybe I should have skipped college and started my own business. Maybe not having a safety net degree would make me a little bit more motivated to go out and achieve something on my own, that type of thing. But, what do I know? I need to get a master's degree. That's all I know right now. I need to get a master's degree to be competitive, because everyone has a college degree. And, it's like the old saying, if everyone has a superpower, nobody does. It's the same thing with a college degree. If everyone has one, it basically just becomes the norm. And if you don't have the norm now, all of a sudden you're worth less. So if you don't have a college degree, you're worth less. But if you do have a college degree, it's a waste of time, because everyone has a college degree. Yeah, it's like, oh, it's actually like frustrating to think about for me. I really struggle with it, because what happens next? Oh, I followed their rules all the way up to this point. Look where it got me. I'm depressed, and so is half the people my age. We're all just craving meaning and purpose. We're all just trying to do something that's worth something. We're trying to fill the void with work, or I don't even know what you even want to call what we do at work. It's not work. We're not doing anything. Like right now, I'm working for a contractor again, and I feel happy about my work again, because I'm seeing the work that I'm doing get done, and I'm fixing things, and I'm building things. All of these things, you can see your accomplishments being, fulfilled right in front of you. It's like everything you're doing is coming to fruition right in front of you. It's great. It makes you feel good. You're getting things done. But that's just not how it is in corporate America right now. You could just be working on an assembly line, like not a literal one, but like an assembly line of the corporate world. So you could just be one part of the machine. And I don't know, just not a fan. Not a fan. I think this striving for efficiency in the corporate world, and all of these rules and bureaucracy, and I can't even tell you about some of the jobs that I've had. Like they just look over your shoulder the whole time, and they're spending so much time looking over your shoulder that they're not getting any work done themselves. And then when you call them out on it, they're like, "Whoa, you can't say that to me. You can't tell me I'm not working hard. I'm working hard by watching you work hard." It's like, okay, yeah, whatever. But honestly, I don't blame them. I don't blame them for doing it, because they're right to do it. Because my generation doesn't work. we don't work. It's sad. It's pathetic, actually. But we don't work. There's no other way to put it. We just don't work. We don't work hard. That's for sure. Yeah, they need to look over our shoulder, because chances are, if they're not, we're not working. We're on our phone. We're scrolling through Instagram. We're, I don't know, whatever you want to do. Like, it's ridiculous. Some of the coworkers have had, like, I'm not gonna name any names, but we had 2 coworkers in particular that they would do maybe 2 months of work. Sorry, rephrase that. They did 1 day's worth of work in 2 months, and I can prove that literally based off of counting on my hand how much work they did. But I won't go into that. But what I'm saying is, like, they need to literally, like, if you have a lax boss, we don't see that as like a bonus so that we can have freedom to do our work our way. We see it as, oh, I don't have to do any work. That's basically like how our mindset is, and I think school taught us to be that way, to be honest. Like, if you don't have someone watching over you and giving you deadlines and stuff like that, then we don't feel like we have to do anything. So we just procrastinate until the end, until the job actually has to get done, and then all that 1 week's worth of work that we've been putting off, like we can get it done really quickly. We just need a deadline, like that type of thing. I don't know. Again, I'm going off on another rant, but this other thing that I need to talk about. Oof, it really grinds my gears. but the relationships. My generation is absolutely screwed when it comes to this, because we don't know how to have good relationships. I'm speaking from experience. I'm speaking for friends that I have. Like, it's so rough watching me, my friends, all of it, like, try and have relationships, because my generation, again, we're so self-centered. We're so selfish. It's actually painful. Like, our views of relationship and love are so tainted by what society has sold us. And yeah, society, whatever. But how do I explain it? Like, we're sold all these romantic lies. Like, yeah, you're gonna find this perfect person. Yeah, you all know. I don't even need to repeat it to you. You're still the perfect person that you're gonna fall in love with, and they're perfect. But I say this all the time. The only good and perfect relationship is the one that doesn't happen. The one that is only in your mind. That person that you met that one time at that one party, or on that bus, or on that train, that you dream about, blah, blah, blah. You just had one good conversation with, and you have one little snippet of who they are, and then you just create this whole story in your mind about how awesome they are. Awesome. Keep it there. Don't take it out. Don't try and meet this person, because you'll ruin it. Everyone sucks. Just get it through your head right now. Everyone sucks. Nobody is the perfect person for you. It doesn't happen. It's not real. Maybe I'm just giving up. I don't think so, though. I think it's the truth. Nobody's that awesome. Nobody's unique. Nobody's special. Just get over it now. Like, the amount of people that I've dated and gone out with, hung out with, blah blah blah. I always think that they're great for a little while, until you actually get to know them. Because after a while, they're just not great anymore. It's just how it is. I'm not trying to insult anyone, not trying to make anyone feel bad, but that's just how it is. Nobody's special. And I just had this conversation with someone, but like, you may think you're unique and special, but name one unique thing about you, and I promise you, I will find someone else with that unique thing about them too. And what happens when more than one person has something that's unique about them? It's not unique. There's nothing unique about it. Unique is something that's original, something that only you have. Well, guess what? You're human, and I guarantee out of all the other 7+ billion people on this planet, someone else out there has the same thing you have, whatever it is. Like, there are exceptions to this rule. I'll be the first to admit it. But even the exceptions to the rule may only be unique in a way where only 1 or 2 other people in the world have what they have. There's almost never a person out there that's unique in their own way. It's just not a thing. Now, again, stipulation here. You may have something that's unique about you, but it's only because it's a factor of 2. And let me explain. You may be unique in a way like, oh yeah, you are the only person that, I don't know, can eat 50 nuggets at McDonald's and can spout pi to the 15th digit. Yeah, you might be the only person in that sense. But is that really the uniqueness that you're going for? Like, I don't know, maybe, because I guarantee there's other people that can eat 50 McNuggets and other people that can spout pi to the 15th digit or more, but maybe not that combination. So yeah, sure, you might have a combination that's unique, but does that make you unique? No, it doesn't. I don't think so. Not by my definition, and not by, I would say, most people's definition. If you want to feel unique, sure, you can feel unique, but don't be kidding yourself and actually thinking that you are, because you're not. Like, just the thing that we've been told our whole life. We're unique. We're special. You're not special. Sorry, you're not. Nobody is. Just be okay with that, though. You have to be okay with it. Just come to terms with it. It's fine. You don't have to be special to do great things. In fact, the most ordinary people are usually the ones that create something amazing. It's just be fine with it. They only seem extraordinary because they created something unique. But it's nothing about their personality that made them that way. They just had a vision and a drive, and they did it. Nothing unique about it. Most really famous, really rich people on this planet will always be like, yeah, I mean, I don't think there's anything in particular about me that's super special and amazing. I just worked hard, and I had a vision for what I wanted, and I did it. So just get that through your head. You don't need to be unique and special. Just be you and accomplish what you want, okay? Like, ugh, why does everyone have to be unique all of a sudden? It's frustrating. Just stop. It's annoying. Yeah, so back to relationships. Where do people get off, like the older generations telling me that I need to get married? What is that? Like, tell me one benefit of marriage. One. Like, the only times in my mind where you should get married is if you're a totally sane person without any, like, problems in your head, which doesn't happen, by the way. Not many people are like that. And you feel like you can fitfully have a healthy relationship with someone and raise kids. Because that's probably the only reason you should get married anyway. If you're not going to have kids, why are you even getting married again? What's the point? What, you want companionship? You can have companionship without getting married. You don't have to get married for that crap. Like, just, unless you're having kids, I do believe if you're going to have kids, you better be married. Because kids need stability to grow up healthy. You may disagree. Fine. Studies show stability good for kids. Sure. Let's just stick with that. Let's just make that the baseline here. Stability is good for kids to grow and develop properly. So I think that most science would back me up on that. So let's just put that on the side. Like, man, I don't know. Just why are you getting married again? Can you tell me why? If you're a girl, you want to get married because that's like your dream, your whole life. I dream about my wedding. I've been dreaming about my wedding since I was 6. You know, I wanted to wear the nice white dress. That's a symbolic of my virginity that I don't have. Ha ha ha. Like, yeah, right. That's just it's frustrating. It's frustrating. Like, you want to get married for the social aspect of marriage. You don't want to get married because you actually love the person. Think about it. Just be absolutely honest with yourself for 1 minute. Just 1 minute. Just be honest with yourself, please. Are you getting married because you like the attention? Or are you getting married because you actually want to spend the rest of your life with someone? Think about how long the rest of your life is. Think about how much of your life you've lived now. If you're 20, 25, whatever, 30, I don't care. You still have like 2/3 of your life, hopefully, if you live to the age of whatever the average age before people die, then yeah, you got about 2/3 of your life left. That's a long time to be spending with someone. So you better be prepared for that. You better not be basing this off of the 1 year that you've known this person. Okay? Maybe you should date them a little bit longer before you make such a rash decision. Maybe. Just an idea. Marriage is serious. You probably shouldn't take it lightly. I'm a big proponent of dating someone for like 2+ years before you actually marry them. Okay? Just saying. Because you might not know them yet. Just a tip. You might not know them. Speaking from experience, you might not know them until you've dated them for at least like 1.5 years, maybe 2 years. Like I said, marriage is kind of a long commitment, so you might want to take it seriously. And let's get into some statistics here, okay? Let's talk about how unhappy the older generation is in marriage right now. Let's talk about divorce rates. 50% divorce rate. But you're a Christian. You're a good religious person who believes that marriage is for the life. You know, you can't divorce. Oh, Oh, shoot. Christian divorce rate is also 50%. Wow. What a surprise. Shocker. It's almost like people just say they're Christians, but they're really not. Wow. It's almost like people say they believe something until it's actually put to the test. Oh, and then we just throw it out the window. We can justify anything. We can justify anything. That's crazy. Amazing how that works out, right? We could justify anything, can't we? Anyway, back to statistics. So, 50% of marriages get divorced. Okay, and some people have multiple divorces, and those count towards that statistic. So, let's be fair. Let's lower it to first marriages and say that out of that, maybe 10% are just second or third or fourth or fifth. Let's just go up the number of all the surpluses of the ones divorces. So let's just say 40% of first marriages end up in divorce. Okay, fair enough. How many of you or of your friends that you know or whatever other marriages that you've seen see marriages that are like, happy? They seem like they're always in a, decent mood, and I'm not making marriage sound like it needs to be like perfect happiness and harmony all the time, but at least like a general vibe of happiness where they don't have any real problems. They seem like an actually good, hearty family, not just to your face, behind closed doors also. They're not just saying it, which a lot of them do, by the way. They'll lie and be like, oh yeah, everything's great. But behind closed doors, Granny's an alcoholic. Oh boy. Got lots of stories about that, by the way. If you need to hear that. But yeah, a lot of people have closeted problems that they don't show to the public, so just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind when we're going through these statistics. So, you have 40% of marriages end in divorce. How many more of those marriages are only together still because they have kids? I don't know, let's spitball. Out of the 40%, okay? We're still, 60% of marriages are still together, okay? So let's knock down a couple more for just staying together because they have kids. Because they don't want to, damage the kids by having a divorce. Which is not a bad reason to stay together, mind you. Maybe it is a good reason. I'm not here to judge. I'm just saying. Maybe it is a bad reason. Who knows? I don't know. Live your best life, whatever you gotta do. But what I'm saying is, like, how many of them are still together because of kids? I would argue that out of the 60% that are still happily married, that probably 40% of those are probably together because of the kids. 40%. Now, that's my personal opinion. So, devil's advocate here, we're going to make it, let's say, 25, 30%. Let's make it 30%. Because it's easier. So, let's knock that down. So, out of the 60% that are still together, another 30% gets knocked off. So, let's make it, spitball a number. How about, so we still have another 30% of marriages that are still together because they actually, like, not just because of the kids, just because, they're together because they're, happy, whatever. Maybe not that. They're just together for some reason. We're about to find out some more reasons why they wouldn't be happy in their marriage. How many of them are still married out of just convenience, out of social pressure, out of the difficulty of divorce and how expensive divorce is? How many do you think are still together for those reasons? Because there's a lot of parts of this country, the South, where getting divorced is very looked down upon. And there's really, like, no good reason for it. Where if you got a divorce, you might get kicked out of your church, or, you might, if you're not working in the relationship, maybe you won't have a source of income that you're satisfied with. Maybe you have a way of life that you're okay with. Sure, you might be able to go to divorce court and maybe get some more money and whatever, but I don't think that's a safe bet. Maybe you won't get as much money as you thought, and it would be a lot of inconvenience and cost a lot of money. So you just stay together because because it's just such a hassle. Divorce is such a hassle. Oof. So, you stay together. So, I would argue that we could knock off another 20%. How about that? So let me just make the percentages easier. Okay, so you have 60% of marriages, and let's knock off 20. So now we're down to 40, 20% for the kids. I think it's higher still, very much higher. So we're gonna knock off another 20. So now we're down to 40%. And now let's knock off another 20% for convenience type of marriages, where, they're staying together out of convenience. Okay, now I'm going to add another small percentage. Another one it's small percentage, but I think it should be higher. I think it should definitely be higher. But people who are together that absolutely should not be together and are still raising kids together. Super unhealthy relationship, definitely shouldn't be together. They are anyway. They are having kids. I think this number is high, but I'm going to be nice. I'm going to be very nice because I don't want to judge who should and shouldn't have kids, even though I think it's obvious for a lot of people who should and shouldn't. Because when you see these people together, you see the way they're raising their kids, you're just like, someone needs to take these kids away. Because this is awful what's happening to them. So, let's just cut that number, and I want to say 10% from that. Okay, so we had 60, then we had 40, then we had 20, and now we have 10%. So, that leaves us with 10% of marriages are still, okay. Are you willing to risk 2/3 of your life on a 10% chance that you're going to have a good marriage? I don't know. Me personally, I don't like those odds. If I'm going to take the odds of a 10% chance of me having a decent marriage, this person better be pretty awesome. That's all I'm saying. They better be pretty awesome. That's all I'm saying right now. They better be the most spectacular person on the planet. They must have a great personality, super interesting. Like, so interesting that I won't get bored of them after 6 years. Well, that's pretty impressive. But all these boomers out here, always is the boomers' fault, by the way. Everything's the boomers' fault. Never forget. Always blame the boomers. It's the scapegoat of my generation. The boomers. Okay. They'll always tell you, get married. Get married, it's great. Some won't. I'll be honest, some definitely won't. Particularly ones who had shotgun weddings won't. They will say, stay single as long as you can, please. But a lot of them, and a lot of people who have gone through divorces will tell you, just stay single. It's just how it is. But, a lot of them that are still married and in their miserable marriages will be like, no, you should get married. Getting married is the best thing that can ever happen to you. Oh my gosh, when I got married, I just became such a better person. Did you really? Did you really? No, you didn't. Chances are you didn't. Maybe you became a little better, but, stepping up from the F tier to the D tier to the E tier, whatever, it's not much of it's a bonus. It's not a bunch of a bonus. You're still a pretty terrible person. Just saying. Oh, man, this rant is going on and on. I could just keep going. I got so many things to talk about. It's just so many things that I think my generation is facing that, I think is somewhat unique in a way, because I think our generation struggles with loneliness more than any other. And I've heard arguments, in both directions, kind of in multiple directions. I'd say not both, but maybe it's due to the social media. Maybe. I don't know if that's it. I don't think there's such a complex issue of an entire generation being so lonely and depressed. I don't think there's a simple answer. I think there's a big deal of something that's pushing us this way. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's social media. Maybe that's part of it. Maybe that's part of it. I don't know. I don't think it's solely to blame. I think that would be naive to say that it's solely to blame. It's ridiculous saying something like that. It's tough. It's definitely tough. We're facing a lot of issues. So what are we gonna do about it? I didn't come here just to complain. I like to complain. I'll complain all day if I have to. I don't care. I'll do what I want. But what are we gonna do? Well, I'll tell you what I've been doing. I've been drowning myself away in like pointless tasks to keep myself preoccupied and distracted from all of the problems because I think that it's hopeless. I don't want to think it's hopeless, but I think that another problem of our generation is we suck at unifying. We suck at everything. We suck at unifying. We really do. Like, we suck at actually achieving things, and we'll get super motivated about things and they get totally disinterested by it, like, the next week. Happens all the time. It's like the classic case of keyboard warriors, amping everyone up and then totally dropping it. It's frustrating. I don't know, but I think we should talk about it. We should definitely talk about it. Because talking about it makes you actually feel like you get something done. Scientifically proven, by the way. That's why if you ever have goals, you really shouldn't tell that many people about it, because it actually makes you feel like you're accomplishing something. Just a tip. Don't tell people what you want. Just go and do it. That'll make you feel like you're actually getting something done, because you are doing something. Oh man, I got a lot on my mind. Been holding this in for a while. Usually just, I don't know. I usually just sit and think about it all day. So that's why I'm making something like this. It's a little easier. Plus, like, it gives me something to do. Something to do is always something good. So I don't know, like, what do you guys think? I want feedback. Like, I really think we should talk about this, because otherwise we're all going to end up, killing ourselves or something like that. Because when there's no hope, when you give up all hope, what else is there? You fall to your knees and you give up. What is it? What is that when that happens? What's the solution? Is it like this in other countries with our generation? Is everyone this depressed all over the place, or is it just us? Is it just Americans? I doubt it. I really doubt it. I think the world is changing fast. I think technology is changing things very quickly, changing the way we think, changing the way we do things. It's crazy, actually. What other things are important, guys? Like, talk to me. I need feedback. I need someone to talk to about this. I don't know, whatever you want to do. We can get on Discord and talk about it. Whatever it is, we need to talk. We need to talk. Giving up over here, guys. Giving up. I can't give up, though. I'm not a quitter. But I'll definitely talk like I'm a quitter. Music is good. Anyway. Yeah. Bye.